Welcome back to Across Louisiana. You know, out of all of our natural resources, safe drinking water is key. And there's a fund that's helping to keep that water safe. And here to tell us all about it is Jennifer Wilson with the Drinking Water Revolving Loan Fund. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
That's quite a long title. It's an important cause, definitely. Tell me a little bit about that and how it came to be.
Sure. We are housed in the Louisiana's Department of Health and Hospitals Office of Public Health. And in 1996, our federal government amended the Safe Drinking Water Act. And in those amendments, they included provisions for each state to begin a revolving loan fund. And so the federal government each year provides a grant to each state, and we have to match that grant with state dollars, and then we use the combined money to help water systems through low interest loans and technical assistance. And our whole goal is to protect the public's health so that they can receive safe and healthy drinking water at an affordable price.
Absolutely. I mean, so obviously across the state there are many such systems, some of which I'm sure need that assistance very greatly. So tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. To date, we have received approximately $245 million from the federal government. We've matched that with approximately $43 million of state money, and we've loaned out almost all of that to water systems around our state over those years, since '97. So they're able to upgrade, they're able to improve their facilities, and then those low interest loans are able to keep their rates low for their customers. We've loaned out approximately 65 water systems, have received about 123 loans because many of them come back to us. They're repeat customers because they like working with us and the ease of the program and doing all of the things that need to be done to get to the actual closing and construction of the project.
So as a result of the fund, I mean, what are some of the improvements that have come to pass as a result of it?
Sure, we've done things like we've installed new elevated water storage tanks. We've done things like generators for emergency preparedness after hurricanes. We've also done things like improved technologies in some of our water systems. They can actually put in new systems that can monitor the entire water system from a central location so that they know at all times what's going on. They can replace distribution lines that are aging due to just wear and tear and reaching the end of their useful life, or it can be that they need to increase the size of those lines so that they can improve the pressure that their customers receive as they grow. Also, we can do things like filtration. There's new technologies with membrane filtration. There's also things like adding new chemical feeds and things like that, because those also age, and we need to always make sure that the water that we're getting out there has the proper chemicals in it to make sure that it's safe when they get it at their tap.
Absolutely, and really that's what it's about. I mean, this is an example of state money that's going to directly benefit every single citizen. I mean, everybody uses water, right?
That's correct. We need water to live.
So you mentioned that some of your systems come back to you more and more. For a system to take advantage of the fund, what do they have to do? Basically,
it's not that difficult. They basically have to either give us a call, and they can do that, or they can email us. We have our email address on our website. They can access that. We also have a Facebook page that they can access. And usually it requires that they have an engineer on staff or a consultant engineer on contract.
Absolutely.
And then what they do is they submit different documents to us, and those documents are some of the requirements that we have, and then once everything's approved, we actually go to construction on the project.
Fantastic. Well, it's great work you're doing out there. Really appreciate you coming on and tell us all about it. We'll have the information on the screen for folks to find out more.
That'd be great. Thank you so much.
Sure thing. Well, they're out there right now keeping you safe from Medicare fraud. It's the Senior Medicare Patrol. Take a look, everybody.
Louisiana Senior Medicare Patrol needs you to help us spread the word about Medicare fraud prevention.
The Senior Medicare Patrol grant for the state of Louisiana is held by a large nonprofit called EQ Health Solutions. So we manage the program for the Administration on Aging, which is part of the Administration for Community Living here in the state of Louisiana.
Last year, Louisiana Senior Medicare Patrol educated over 23,000 Medicare beneficiaries. There's 800,000 Medicare beneficiaries in Louisiana. We're a very small staff of 3. We can't do it alone, so we need your help.
We do rely very heavily upon a volunteer corps that goes statewide and they are using no tax dollars to help the federal government save tax dollars that are going out to crooks, scam artists, dishonest providers, and the like. So it is a very tightly run and efficient program.
We currently have 40 volunteers that are statewide, and with the new baby boomers coming in, we'll have about 800,000 Medicare beneficiaries in the state of Louisiana, so 40 is not nearly enough. We need new volunteers. Successful volunteers have experience in public speaking. They have a medical background, some general ideas with Medicare, Medicaid. They're familiar with Medicare summary notices and how to read them. We have several retired RNs that are volunteers, and we also have a retired physician that is a volunteer. So they have experience in the medical field. But you don't have to be a retired medical professional to be a volunteer. Some of our volunteers have been homemakers. They've been in the media and social activists.
We're looking for some very specific types of people to join up with us. However, we sit down with you, we've got some different forms and checklists for you to look at, so we try to really take the time to make sure that we are a good fit for you. We don't want you to be spending your valuable free time working in a program that might not be the right fit for you. So we work real hard to make sure that we are what you are looking for and that you are what we are looking for. Because it is it's very much a community development and an interactive sort of a volunteer opportunity. So it's not for everyone. But the feedback we get from our volunteers is that when we make a good match, it's a really great match because it's providing something for the volunteers that they haven't been able to find in a more traditional type volunteer organization.
Volunteering for Louisiana Senior Medicare Patrol is very flexible. Once a month we send out a calendar to the volunteers with events that we have scheduled in their area, and they pick and choose which events they're available to help us out with. And those are community outreach events and education sessions, like health fairs at senior centers, independent living facilities where you go and you stand at a booth and you hand out S&P literature, brochures, and giveaways. And then we do presentations, and presentations are usually 15 to 20 minutes in length with some time afterwards for question and answer. And those are done at the same places: senior centers, independent living facilities, elderly housing units. Those can be for churches, civic groups, those types of places.
They never go to a senior's home. You know, they're not meeting in places that are not well-known and chaperoned, if you will. There's always going to be a site manager there. There's going to be some type of salaried staff people on site at whatever location our volunteers are visiting. Our volunteers make a difference. Our program makes a difference. We can definitely fight against Medicare fraud, but it's going to take everyone pulling together. We ask, one of the things that our volunteers tell the folks that they work with in their communities is to look at those Medicare summary notices. That's that statement that they get every 90 days. And looking at that's the only way you'll ever know if your number is being misused, if your number has gotten into the hands of someone who is using it to file false claims to the Medicare system. If you're interested in volunteering with Senior Medicare Patrol, or if you think that you might have an issue that we need to help you with, you can reach us by calling our toll-free number, 877-272-8720. Or if you want more information about volunteering, we've got a wonderful section on our website that talks all about volunteering. You can even take a look at our volunteer handbook there on the website. And that website address is www.stopmedicarefraudla.org.
When we come back on Across Louisiana, we'll sit down with Clayton Forbes, the March of Dimes. Catch up with him. Don't miss it.